Asiwaju is a talent hunter.
As a mentor,
once
a leader,
he notices that
somebody who
you
cares
are
about
good,
other people around him,
he will
somebody
bring you
who
on.
is kind,
Bring you into the
caring,
system.
giving, and a leader
Go
who
to his
never
house,
allows
the way
people
you see
around
people
him to
from
fall.
the
He's always
Arewa
there
people,
for you.
the
Asiwaju
Hausa
will always
people.
look back.
You'll be
He
seeing
gave
the
me a
Kanuri
platform.
people. You'll be seeing people from the
aspire to a life
south.
that I never thought about
You'll be
or
seeing
dreamt
people,
about.
the Igbo
And that
people.
was through the one
Everybody feeling at home.
Asiwaju is widely known as political strategist.
History gives us one or two persons who are gifted transformative leaders. Our country has been gifted by this great transformative leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the bridge builder.
The sun rises in Lagos. A new day officially begins in the city that never sleeps. Yet, Lagos remains Nigeria's center of excellence, a land of greatness, a home of opportunities, and Africa's economic heartbeat. The opportunities that abound here are not for the fickle-minded. Only the determined, the brave, the aspirational, and the upwardly mobile break the glass ceiling that hovers over Lagos, while a few others enjoy seemingly unlimited grace from the Supreme Being. A combination of all these defines the tenacity of our typical Lagosian, who dares all odds to break even and attain the heights reached by great men who fought for Nigeria's emancipation, democracy, unity, and development. One man who has dared to tread this edgy path through life in his chosen profession, in politics, humanitarian service, and to struggle for the enthronement of democracy, philanthropy, and quality leadership is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a proud product of Lagos, the center of excellence. Growing up, young Bola Ahmed Tinubu witnessed the economic prosperity occasioned by the nation's oil boom and the years of bitter conflict during its civil war. He might not have realized it then, but living through these extreme moments in his country's history likely stirred the beginnings of the nationalist he was to become. The budding nationalist, however, still had some education to attend to. Coming to America to bag an accounting degree and acquire a widened perspective of the world he lived in.
I was a tutor as a student of my fellow classmates. And I was one of the most sought after graduates of that period, recruited by the best accounting and financing in the world. I have 5 jobs before my month of graduation waiting for me.
The excellence associated with the metropolitan city is much desired by other states across the country. And although it was not an easy ride for successive governments, they all made their marks in the development of the commercial city. The young accountant, Bola Tinubu, meanwhile, was doing well for himself in various private companies as Arthur Andersen, Deloitte, Haskins & Sells, and GTE Services Corporation, all in the United States of America. He returned to Nigeria in 1983 when he joined the services of Mobil Oil Company. At the time Nigeria mulled a return to democracy in 1993, Bola Ahmed Tinubu had already begun to think beyond his immediate sphere, thinking of his fellow countrymen, so much so that he stepped both feet into the arena of Nigerian politics, getting elected and becoming one of the youngest senators of the Third Republic. But the party would soon be over. The Third Republic was short-lived, with the annulment of a presidential election widely acclaimed to have been free, fair, and won by business magnate Chief Moshood MKO Abiola.
The election was pronounced fair, free, fair, and peaceful.
It was the time to bring back civil rule and the National Democratic Coalition, NADECO, which Tinubu co-founded, was at the front line. The junta in place, it turned out, had no plans to hand back power anytime soon.
He had occupied important positions in the corporate world. He had become a senator. And of course, I think he also must have had a much wider net worth than many of us, because you could see him thrusting his neck out to play a role, even when it comes to the issue of funding. He was willing, he was able to play such a role. He was in the thick of that struggle, and he did really play his part to ensure that the military was eventually pulled or pushed out of office.
The narrative changed a few years later when Nigeria began its voyage back to democracy in 1999. This signaled the beginning of a turnaround in fortunes, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu jumped on the campaign train of the Alliance for Democracy, AD, seeking to blaze a trail to the office of the Governor of Lagos State. He was in, and over the course of 2 terms, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu proved himself a visionary and innovative governor. True, he may have been new on the job, but Governor Tinubu had developed tenacity growing up in the city and had been seasoned in political adversity. He was not going to be flustered by the task at hand. He knew quite well that the framework of government at that time might not shoulder the burden at hand, so he made a move that many considered exceptional by carefully raising a pragmatic team of like minds who understood the intricacies of Lagos and could interpret his vision to chart a new course for the Lagos of his dreams.
He has, from his days as governor of Lagos State, provided clarity of thought and vision, pioneering vision in all aspects of governance. A lot of his vision is what is responsible for what we see today in Lagos. I think Asiwaju demonstrated in the years when he was governor that political appointments, especially cabinet appointments, he simply looked for those that he considered the best possible material at the time, wherever they were from.
Master builder. He sees ahead of his time. And that's why we're pushing him. Because those of us that, like I said, almost 30 years, those of us that have worked closely with him, we know him. So Asiwaju would have touched millions of people. When you check the commissioners, the people who have made governors, it's only in Lagos, Ogun State, Osun State, Oyo State, even Kwara State, Ondo State. Go and check. If you produce a governor, governor can touch 1 million lives. These are all students of Asiwaju's political school. Go and check. Governors from the north, senators. They will come to his house. He will sponsor them. They will go to Senate. They will go to House of Rep. When they win, they will come back with a certificate to come and present. Go and use it. He can't remember. No Nigerian, living or dead, has been able to touch people's lives the way this man has done.
But there was something rare in how he went about it. In the multi-plural society that Lagos was and still is, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, fully aware of the cosmopolitan nature of his state's population, the inherent ethnic diversity, and the sensitivity of all the religious backgrounds, spearheaded the composition of all-inclusive cabinet and laid down a blueprint of government that could unify Nigeria.
So if you go to his house, the way you see people from the Arewa people, the Hausa people, you'll be seeing the Kanuri people, you'll be seeing people from the south, you'll be seeing people, the Igbo people, everybody feeling at home. And that is what combines to produce the Asiwaju magic.
The government at the federal level, working with the states, must stimulate expansion and growth and not try to stifle it.
For a man who is committed to building bridges and uniting Nigerians, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his team kept sleepless nights brainstorming on workable solutions that led to the creation of some new and reformed government agencies in Lagos State. These agencies and parastatals became sources of employment for everyone without tribal discrimination. Unlike in other states, non-Yoruba-speaking residents of Lagos were given a chance to seek employment and compete favorably with the indigenes without any bias. This was a major feat, which at that time and even up till now is rare to find in most states across the country.
If you can't fix your family, you cannot fix your community. If you can't fix your community, you can't fix your state. And if you cannot fix a state as a governor, I do not see the basis for giving you the benefit of the doubt that you can fix Nigeria. That is what stands him out. The other is to look at his character, because character is extremely important. Anyone without character can't be entrusted with leadership. Nigeria challenge today is buffeted by, those who want to dominate the space and set agenda for national discourse. Increasingly, we're becoming either religious bigots or ethnic champions. But Asiwaju is an example of the fact that God did not intend that people should be bogged down in a war between one religious faith and the other. And Asiwaju has trained that from his own household. If you look at the fact that his wife is from another state, Delta, a Christian himself, a Muslim, and they coexist. The children, some are Muslims, some are Christians. I told somebody, people should not use the word religious tolerance, because that for me is very patronizing. Who is tolerating who? It's accepting the will of God that people have a right to worship according to their faith. It's not about tolerating them, it's accepting the reality.
Building bridges is about promoting an inclusive and systemic vision of a sustainable society that equally addresses social, economic, and environmental issues. All of these have not been in short supply in Lagos since Nigeria returned to democracy in 1999. That's because Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has over time built a bridge of people with impeccable leadership traits that even his detractors would admit. He has a knack for picking worthy successors who have also become great leaders in their own right. Indeed, a great leader paves the way for others.
He built so many bridges across so many communities in Nigeria. If you look at his antecedent, since he joined politics and public service, he worked with different ethnic nationalities, different personalities who served under him, learned a lot from him, and grew up to become institutions. That is a bridge builder. Even the Asiwaju you are hearing, Jagaba, the Jagaba you are hearing about is a title. This title was given to him by a northern institution, not a Yoruba institution, a Hausa or Bargu traditional title, I mean traditional institution that gave him the Jagaba. So it's because of his good relationship, it's because of his, antecedent, his, behavior, accommodating, and also regarding Nigerians to be the same in respect of religious or their ethnic nationalities. That is what we call a bridge builder.
He got the best heads to sit down to prepare a roadmap. And today, we're not surprised that Lagos is what it is in Africa and in the world. Somebody laid the foundation. Somebody fished the leaders, because one thing is for you to have an idea, then you now get people that will do the work. He got the best heads too. Asiwaju is a talent hunter. Once he notices that you are good, he will bring you on. He'll bring you into the system. He's somebody. The same thing with Sanwo-Olu. And none of them has failed Lagos. It is a movement. Moving forward. You don't think such a person is a genius? If you have had the opportunity to rule Lagos, the economic hub, a thriving city, a 24-hour city, if you have an opportunity to rule this state, to rule Nigeria will not be a problem.
When American Baptist minister Joseph Fort Newton said, "Men build too many walls and not enough bridges," his philosophical conjecture at that time focused on the need to create solutions and find ways to make things better in a developing society through the force of unity. This is clearly understood by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in fixing the economics of Lagos and spreading his progressive political ideology to other states, first in the southwest and then other parts of the country.
When you were sleeping, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu was working day and night. He secured Lagos, secured Ogun, secured Oyo, secured Osun, secured Ekiti, secured Ondo, secured Edo. And he says a nobody.
Setting up a leadership academy where aspiring future leaders can be mentored and nurtured may not be part of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu's agenda, but one thing he will not stop doing is laying a solid bedrock of education for budding leaders across the country. His network of mentorship, which now cuts across the north, east, west, and southern parts of Nigeria, started when he assumed office and has since grown in leaps and bounds. The One Day Governor initiative has been part of the key drivers.
He gave me a platform to aspire to a life that I had never thought about or dreamt about, and that was through the One Day Governor program in 2001. After winning the One Day Governor program, I got a scholarship for further education. The Lagos State government also paid for all the WAEC fees of all students in that year and in subsequent years, and that gave me the opportunity to have a quality education subsequently. Beyond that, Senator Remi Tinubu and Asiwaju have tried to maintain a relationship with me over the years despite my ethnicity, my religion, and just strictly because of my capacity.
And how would nationhood be without proper attention and support given to the women folk? From education, to commerce, to governance, to political office, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has shown great charity, not only to the educated elite, but also those at the grassroots including the traders and market women.
Asiwaju has built bridges not only across Nigeria but also all over the world. So everywhere in Nigeria, north, south, east, west, there's no part of Nigeria that hasn't felt Asiwaju's impact. That is who he is. That is who he has been all the years that I've known him. And I recall that even covering his activities then as governor of Lagos State, he had always been somebody who reached out to everybody.
In all these, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu still harbored his dreams, and in the run-up to the 2015 elections, and though he was as qualified as any to aspire to the top office in the land, he put aside his ambition to back, in every way possible, a candidate to Aso Rock.
Asiwaju is widely known as political strategist. But strategy is barren unless wedded to a higher purpose than just itself. Here, Asiwaju also sets himself apart. I have come to see him as a man who cares about people and who is a fountain of ideas for economic of the common man and woman. He is a true humanitarian, and we appreciate his contributions to Nigeria's and African progress.
And now, the 2023 polls beckon. Senator Tinubu has picked up the presidential ticket of the ruling All Progressives Congress. And true to type, this proponent of the tribalized politics has made his choice to form a joint ticket with another former governor who has left an indelible mark in the core northern state of Borno.
As I name Nigeria, Nigeria needs me. I've been a good example. Grit, daring, can-do attitude. And I've never lost one single election.
What was the position of Lagos before he came in terms of administration? We are all aware of the security problem, armed robbery in Lagos, tribal problems. How about the traffic jam in Lagos? How about the economy? How about the revenue? The revenue too was down. In fact, Lagos was unmanageable. In fact, because of the problem of Lagos, even the military decided to think of having a new federal capital in the center of the country. It was because of the problems of Lagos. So when Asiwaju came in for the first 4 years, another 4 years, he improved the situation. And in order to ensure continuity, because the one thing for you to lay the foundation is another thing for that foundation, for people who are coming forward to develop on what you have done and make your programs, make your projects, institutionalize them, is another thing. So he made sure that he remained a father since he succeeded, and among the people who worked with him, he selected some who should continue. He backed them, they won the election, and they continue on the solid foundations that he has built. That is continuity up till today. See the development of Lagos, see the economy of Lagos. The reason why I'm saying he is qualified, Nigeria of today, I bet you, there is no one politician who has the capacity and the ability to get hold of a state from 1999 to date and improve on that state. If you have any politician of that qualification, tell me.
Has his time come to preside? In a nation of many peoples and cultures,
I know him to be bold, to be knowledgeable as well, and to be somebody that can test new grounds.
Asiwaju is deep. Asiwaju knows where he's going. Asiwaju is dependable. Asiwaju cares.
Has the competence, capacity, and capability.
Building bridges across ethnic, religious divide, as well as various social groups, being able to weave them together, managing Nigeria diversity.
Asiwaju is the only politician that politicians of other regions trust.
I believe that our country has been gifted by this great transformative leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Over 6 decades after its independence, Nigeria is still struggling to pull down walls built on the foundation of ethnicity, language, and religion. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has built bridges, and from the look and sound of him, the astute politician and statesman plans to build more.